everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's your host, Arlette, and we are here today with Reggie and Nova. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
How
How's it
we
going?
feeling today?
Good.
Okay,
Good.
okay.
Feeling great, feeling great.
That's what we like to hear. So we did have you guys on episode 9 of Pop the Balloon or Find Love, where you ended up matching. Okay, so is it going to be a yes for you for him?
Yes.
And is it a yes for you for her?
Definitely.
We got it! All right, I'll take this mic. You guys can go on off. Okay, and so on that episode, we did get to know a little bit about each of you, but just to let the people know a little bit more, give them a little refresher. Nova, let's start with you. Tell us about yourself.
So, I'm born and raised in Arizona, and I have a 10-year-old daughter. I am an esthetician. I am in nursing school, and I've always been in healthcare. I've been in healthcare for about 11 years.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of been my go-to job. Like, every time I have, like, a little hustle or whatever, I always go back to the hospital.
Got it.
So I'm pretty big on that. I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of things. I used to model. I used to host clubs in different cities.
Okay.
I'm well traveled.
Yeah, you've done a
Yeah,
lot.
I'm a pretty private person too. Like, this is kind of a new experience for me. Being so, everything used to be like party and
Yeah.
go. And now it's like more personal. So I'm not used to disclosing a lot of information like this. So it's been a journey. It's
Yeah,
been
bet.
a journey. I am very fast in a very different way.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
That's pretty much it. I'm definitely trying to get back into my modeling. Definitely about to get back on Instagram, go crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I tried this because I literally felt like I was having bad luck finding relationships that would work for me.
Yeah.
Especially after my whole experience in the entertainment world. I had a partner and he ended up passing away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
Yeah,
that.
so we were kind of like on our Bonnie and Clyde stuff. So when that kind of dissipated, I kind of got out of it because it wasn't fun anymore. So yeah, I just kind of started changing my life, but dating has been hard ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
It's been hard. It's been hard. So yeah, I kind of came into this like. I told you, I was like, I didn't even know that I was going to get on the show.
Yeah,
Like,
you did say that.
I just winged it. And my mom was like, yeah, like, what do you have to lose? Like, what are you doing right now? And I'm
Literally.
like, oh, I guess, like, it'll be an experience. I might meet someone. And yeah, so I came on the show and I was like, at first I was like, okay, this is crazy. It was like speed dating on crack. Okay, unscripted. Everything was just wild. And it was like going from like the super private person to being like on blast, like in a different way. It was wild. Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. It was a good experience, but it was wild.
Okay. All right. Get to know you a little bit, Nova.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now, Reggie, what about for yourself?
So pretty much just about me. So like I said on the show, I do motivational music. So it's something I've been working on. Financial literacy, teach people about, repairing their credit, start passive income, things like that. And overall, just I like to consider myself a fun guy. You know what I mean? Like I said in the show, about experiences. It's not what you do, it's who you with. You do the same thing that you do with the right. You do the same thing you do regularly, but with the right person, you can make it a fun time. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely, when it comes to that, I'm definitely. Yeah, that's me. You know what I mean? So I'm all about kind of like experience. Like I have like goofy sides about me, a business side. It's all about, following your dreams, following your goals, and experiencing life with finding a life partner ultimately.
Okay, nice. All right. So Reggie, as we saw on the show, one of the questions you actually ended up asking Nova when we brought her up to the front was like, what are some of your vices? Where did that question come from?
Yes. So since you're asking about me, and I didn't mention that. So I after high school, I became a professional gamer.
Oh.
And so like for me, like I said, I had questions that I had kind of pre-planned. Like I wanted to ask these questions. Really only got to ask one, and then they kind of was asking me questions. And then when we got to the front, and then when she hit me with the smooth line, like, "Well, I want to talk to you privately," you know. So after that, I was like, you know, I obviously want to match with her, right? But I wanted to be kind of transparent. It's one thing that I look
Right.
forward within myself that I'm, you know, preach within myself. So I wanted to made sure that that was known to her because I didn't want something to happen where it's like, oh, he plays video games. You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
like a stigma. It's like, is it a childish thing? Is it or not? Personally, I don't. I believe, you know, you can be any age. It's a good advice. You know that your guy is in the house, but let's get too deep. So in this case, I wanted just to make it known that that was a thing for me. And then, I mean, she gave the perfect response, and it's just like, yeah.
Yeah. And so Nova, are video games like a big part of your life, or it's
Big part of my life.
really?
I never was a professional. I never was like a professional. But I've been playing video games for as long as I can remember. Like I never made it like a hobby or like a job. But even my daughter and my mom plays. We have like 3 PlayStations at the house. Yeah, we have like so I never made it like a profession, but yeah, I play video games. I have my favorites. Like
Okay.
Reggie was definitely gonna show me like more like deeper into it, and I was definitely all game for it. But yeah, I have my favorites.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't call myself a gamer, you know, but I do play video games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has that ever been, because I know he kind of mentioned maybe someone could find it childish or whatever it is. Has that ever been a problem for you?
No.
No?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like, come on. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Now, Reggie, has that ever been a problem for you in any past relationships?
It has actually. It actually has. Like I said, it's that stigma. Like, is it a childish thing? Is it, like I said, it's I think it's 50-50. Like even like if I've seen some reactions, some people were saying, "Oh, that's great," or some people like, you know what I mean? So for me, it's just it is who I am. You know what I mean? And like I said when I was answering one of those questions, like you have to be comfortable being who you are. So I don't shy away from it. It's like I wanted to show Nova like who I am, and then have her match with me off the pretense like this is this guy. He's not gonna change and be something else. You know what I mean? And just when a quick aside, Nova says she's not a gamer. Amazing gamer. She will beat you all in Fortnite. I promise you.
A lot of practice.
All right, girl, you got to show them how it's done.
Sometimes, right?
Okay, so I know a question that's just been on everyone's mind because I know most people love that you guys are able to kind of vibe and connect on the gamer thing. So let me cross my fingers and hope you guys answer this question how the whole world wants. But since you matched on the show, has there been a date?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Tell me about it. Tell me about it, Nova.
So, during the show, I was in transition. I was in transition between jobs. So I was actually off for 2 weeks, and I believe Reggie was too. Like we both were transitioning, and so we kind of spent a lot of time together the first like couple weeks, and yeah, we went to the first night with the other couple, Brittany and I forgot- Philip. Yeah, with Brittany and Philip, we went. Well, we didn't go with them, but we ended up running into them at the Champagne Lanes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play. Like, I wanted to play games. So I actually wanted to take him to Cobra, which is an arcade bar
Okay.
that I absolutely love. Like, they have all the old games, the Tetris. Like,
What?
yeah, it was good. But it was too packed. So we ended up going to Champagne Lanes. And that's how we ended up running into them. So that was like, it wasn't a date, but it was kind of like, okay, yeah, we matched. Let's see what, let's talk more. And then after that, we end up going to Cobra. I think it was like during the week when it wasn't as busy. And we actually had a good time, like a really good time. It was fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the going to Cobra was kind of like the official first date.
Yeah, that was the official first date.
Okay, and how soon after the show was that?
Probably the next day.
Oh. That's what we like to hear. Y'all wasted
Yeah, we
no
waste
time.
no time, no time. He actually let me go home after the show to change because I was like so nervous, sweating. It was crazy. So I was like, please, can I go home? Like, and he definitely let me go home and change. So that we end up like, if you see the picture, like I'm in a whole nother outfit.
Yeah,
I was
saw
like,
that.
no, let me go change. So yeah, I was just really nervous from the show. So yeah, we had a good time, but we waste no time. We waste no time.
Okay. So Reggie, how was everything for you after the show?
Yeah, she hit it on the head. She hit it on the head. So as soon as after the show, so even before the last person came out, we left. I was like, hey, let's go on a date. Let's go out. So we was well, she actually had that great idea. She was like, well, why don't we go to, we said with like gamers, let's go to the arcade. I was like, arcade bar, never heard of that. So we went there. But yeah, Super Pack couldn't get in there. Went to Champagne Lanes. We seen my man Philip and his match there. That's when we did that group picture that y'all seen. And then yeah, we did want to bowl, but it's kind of like how it was set up. We wouldn't have been able to bowl. So then we was like, okay, for the next day, let's go to the arcade bar.
Yeah.
Played all the arcade games, got some drinks. After that, we didn't even want the night to end. Went to Dave and Buster's. So we like really, yeah. So we definitely was being true to who we were, talking, getting to know each other. It was definitely great moments.
Okay, so you guys went from one arcade place to the next.
Yes,
Wow.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a long night.
And then, so, after that, like, how was the communication? And, like, I know you guys said you both had kind of like a 2 weeks off. So, how was that?
Yeah, we were pretty much together almost every day after that. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were together pretty much every day after that.
Okay.
Even for just a little bit, like a couple hours out of the day. But yeah, it was pretty much every day after that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You guys did a lot of like fun things, like, or was it more like chill vibes?
Well, he was getting ready for work, so he was just, I did a couple ride-alongs.
Oh.
That was,
Big energy.
I'm chilling.
Yeah. Just as long as you're spending time together kind of
that's
thing,
it.
right? Yeah.
I don't ask for much.
So how were the ride-alongs? Like, did you invite her, or she was like, "I'm coming"? Like,
no.
go?
I definitely was. Well, I invited her, and then but she was down to come. So it was like it's 50-50 with it. So yeah, it was like. So we did the 2 dates. Then it was like, hey, you're a dope person. I'm a dope person. I want you in my company. You know what I mean? And like I really wanted to make it a point to kind of be intentional with how I was moving, be purposeful. So I was like, hey, I mean, I'm feeling it. You're feeling it. I got to go check this office out. Come with me. She helped me like put tables and chairs in my office. We really was definitely tag team dynamic and duo in it outside on that type of time. So yeah, it definitely was just great moments. We just was with each other every day basically.
Yeah. For like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Wow. Sure. Okay. And then after the 2 weeks, how was everything? Like,
well, we started talking about our past. Well, my past, and I still know very little about Reggie.
Oh.
Even though we spent a lot of time together, I wasn't able to get all the questions I wanted answered.
Okay.
Yeah. So it got hard because it was more focused on me and like what I've been doing and what my life was and more about that. And I was like, I healed from it. I grew up from that. I'm 30 years old. I wasn't into, in the entertainment world for like 6 years now. So it was kind of like, get over it. But at the same time, I understood, like, as a man, he wanted to know like all the ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
And so I was very open, very transparent about everything, but it just got to a point where it was like he couldn't let it go. And then at one point, he did tell me that I lacked confidence. So that was a problem for me because it was like, you don't know me. Yeah. Like, how can you say that I lack anything if you haven't even gave me a chance to show you like who I am or what I'm capable of? Like, when you show confidence, like I went on a show, didn't know anybody there, like, like not even, this is not my cup of tea. Like I like to meet people old fashioned, like grocery store, gas station, even out at the bar, like not on a dating show, So I was like, what? Like, so that kind of threw me back. And then it was like, it just got real real messy towards the end of everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And now, I know you said it was really like a lot focused on you. Like, were you asking him questions and he wasn't answering it, or
Oh yeah,
like,
he's the king of deflection. He's
oh,
king of deflection.
uh-oh,
Yeah, so and he owns it. Like he knows, he knows.
uh-huh,
So hey, I
okay.
mean, it was something that was like, this is me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh well, we
Who
were
are
having
you?
so much
Yeah.
fun. Why didn't you come sooner? It was
Yeah.
kind of one of those things for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reggie, what's
Okay.
going on, Mr. King of Deflection?
So, so pretty much the quote unquote like problem started was we did have a conversation. Like I said, we spent a lot of time with each other, so we was having like deep conversations, not just
Mm-hmm.
like surface level, like past the surface level. Like we really was getting deep,
Yeah.
and so pretty much, she was saying like we had to talk like what did you think? Like you know how like did you know you was gonna match with me? You know, we just kind of talking,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a thing. It was like tell me about like I was we was talking. It's kind of like tell me some things. You know what I mean? It's like it was not just like you're not confident. Like we actually was having a
Mm.
conversation, and
Okay.
I said that. You know what I mean? I just
I
said it was
see.
like yeah, it was like yeah, I think you can be more confident. Um, and that was our like first big argument.
Mm.
But like I also said in the show, I'm big on communication. I'm big on
Mm-hmm.
conversation. So we talked through it. It definitely was kind of early on, so you know it might have turned her off a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of happy that we went through that because it's like if we getting through this hard stuff now, then it's those roses and flowers at the end. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So it's like we went through that, we talked through it. It was a tough talk, but we got through it. And then that pretty much was the theme. It was like whatever a hard conversation is, like she said with the past, we had a hard conversation about that as well. And that was something that I haven't experienced before, so it was difficult for me. So I like sought counsel for that. You know what I'm saying? I talked to my best friend, talked to
Yeah.
female friends. Shout out BM. He helped me with counsel as well with that. So yeah, and then I got over it. And
Mm.
yeah, it's like basically more specific, like she's saying, being in like the entertainment world. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've never talked to someone, you know, who did that before. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I was even going so much to the point where I was getting counsel from her. Like, hey, how
Mm.
did you have you gone through this before? You know what I mean? So I was being true to who I was as far as like trying to have the communication part at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like something that I kind of learned from. I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but something I kind of learned from it is like if someone is like has like past trauma, something like this, it's like you have to tread lightly when you're talking to them. And because like I'm just telling you, like I'm big on communication, so it might seem like I'm poking a bear,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm really trying to learn you to figure out how I can love you better. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So but if I'm triggering something and not realizing it, and it just seems like I'm antagonizing, you feel like you know you're defending yourself every day,
Mm-hmm.
then like in hindsight, I can see how it looked from her perspective. But in that moment, I was just like, "You're hiding stuff from me." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, I have to take responsibility for that as well.
Okay. So she's saying, you got to know her and all that stuff, but she didn't really get much out of you. Like, what was the reasoning for that? Like, why didn't you open up, I guess?
So it's not like a thing of like I'm not opening up, like I'm an open book. You can tell like communication is good for me, but it's like we were or I would say I was so focused on that part that is like
Mm.
I couldn't get past it. You know what I mean? For a minute, like I said, I was talking to people, even talking to her to figure out like, hey, like I don't know, I don't know what the past is looking like. Like I don't know if something like is she really telling me the truth type stuff.
Mm.
But like I said, the beauty of it, when you have a conversation with your partner, you can get over it. So
Mm-hmm.
I was working towards getting over those things, and I was getting over those things, I feel. But I think possibly the damage was done already, where it's like, you got over it, but I'm not. And, and then she wasn't feeling it.
I don't think he got over it.
Okay.
I really don't. This kind of like once it was out there, it dragged the whole month. Like we really just stopped talking like a week ago.
Wow.
So it never stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as like trauma, like I don't have trauma of my past. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've grown from it. Like I said, this was 6 years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
would hope that I've grown
Grown from
from
it,
it,
yeah.
like so it's kind of like to have someone come into your life and not know you and then call it a trauma or say that you're lacking in confidence or
Mm.
when you've done all these crazy wonderful things that a lot of people are afraid to do, it's like, what? Like, who are you talking to? Like, you're not talking to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a confident person. I'm just a private person. I'm a calm person. So a lot of people don't know how to accept that. So when they see me, it's always, I gotta be doing something, or I gotta, but that's not the case. Like, when I was in the entertainment world, I did have a partner. I didn't have to do any of the extra crazy stuff that a lot of other women do. I never dabbled in drugs. I didn't have, I didn't have to cope with anything. Like, where there was a mission, and that was all there was to it. And so explaining that to him, he wasn't understanding that. It just was like, no, that's not true. That's not true. And then it was like, well, I'm an eligible bachelor. Why would I settle for someone with your past? So it's like you're taking these jabs.
So he said this.
Yes. Yes. So it's
Okay.
like you're taking these jabs, but you want me to just be like, oh, it's fine. Let's move on. But it's like, how can I be with someone that sees me in such a negative way and not even letting me like show him who I am or what I can do or what I offer? Like, I am a soldier. Like, I will go tooth and nail for my man. So it's like, for someone to just come into my life that is asking me all these questions, I'm being very open about everything. Like, everything. Like, I showed him my OnlyFans.
Oh,
Girl, showed it to him. And he was like, oh, that's not even that bad. Yeah, because I've never been that girl. I never had to go the extra mile.
okay.
And he couldn't accept the fact that I didn't have to do all that to get where I wanted to be. So it's kind of like like he was stuck in a stigma, or like what's the word? Stereotype. And it's just like, I'm a multifaceted woman. Like, I'm educated. I have my associate's degree. I'm working on my bachelor's degree. I hustle. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's like, if that's not something that you're okay with, then I'm not for you. Because at the end of the day, if you're not gonna put me in a place to win, I'm gonna go put myself in a place to win. So it's just, yeah, that never ended. It never ended. It was just, it got to a point where I was like, every time he was like, I gotta talk to you about something, I would be like, let me sit down. Yeah. So it was just like, the icing on the cake. That was pretty much it. Like, I just can't be with someone that can't let me grow past where I've already grown from. Like, you're taking me back to where I've came, like, I don't need to go backwards. I need to go forward. So that's kind of where I was at with that.
Okay. So when you speak about like you were in the entertainment world and things like that, I know you mentioned OnlyFans. Is that something you're doing now?
No.
Oh, that was like
No.
back then.
Yeah,
Okay. And
not even back then. Like, sometimes I think the last one was probably like back in April that I dropped like a little 3-minute video of me just dancing. So that's what I did. I was just dancing on there. Like, I went virtual with my entertainment, with my dancing, but I never showed, like, I never went full nude or anything like that. So it was just kind of like boudoir, just little stuff. Like, not, I mean, some people might say that's not little stuff, but it wasn't as extreme as some people go, So it was, I showed it to him. I was a dancer for about 4 or 5 years. During that time, I was in a relationship. So that's when I was like doing the whole Bonnie Clyde. Yeah, I was trying to do everything. I was trying to do it all. And yeah, when my partner died, I didn't find it fun anymore. I felt like it was a lot more vultures out there than I was used to, because I didn't have to deal with none of that stuff. So I just kind of let it go. Like, I didn't feel like it fit me anymore. So I let it go. And plus, at the time, I was a single mom. So my daughter, I think she was like about 5 years old when I stopped dancing. She was starting to go to kindergarten. I was like, well, I can't do this with her. Like, no, like it's not gonna
Yeah.
work anymore. Like when she was a kid, it was easy because it was like, okay, she sleep at night, I
Mm-hmm.
drop her off, sitter, go to work, come back. She didn't even know I was gone, you know?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now it's like I gotta take her to school. I gotta like I have my responsibility list grew.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, yeah, I can't now. You know, I got my dance bag in the corner. She's trying to put on my heels. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
oh no, oh
Oh
no.
God.
So yeah, it just stopped being fun for me anymore. It just
Yeah.
started being like, okay, so what type of woman do you want to be?
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, I sticked with my modeling for a little bit. And even with that, it was like, I just didn't have the heart for it anymore. Like, I
Mm.
just didn't. I was started bullshit and I missing appointments and all that. Like, it just stopped being fun.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
All right. And now Reggie.
Yeah. All right. So first off, I don't know who uses the word eligible or bachelor together, but I did not say those words.
You definitely did.
But I will say this, just with everything she just said.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for me, so yes, I never talked to a dancer before. Dancer, that means, when push come to shove, she knows how to get to the cheese. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm about my money and things like this.
Mm.
So I feel like it's something that we could have kind of worked through. We did work through.
Yeah.
And I know she was saying like it seemed like you were still stuck there. I wasn't still stuck there. And because the communication is so high for me, as she knows, like there literally was nothing that we couldn't talk about, right?
Mm.
So even the part of like, oh, I didn't know him, it's because like questions wasn't asked. Because any question that would have been asked, I will answer it. You know what I mean? And also as far as kind of things that was going on with us, this isn't just when I say we were together like every day for like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just like, oh, we're just laying up, like, you know what I mean? Like I was, like I said, showing her that I'm a man that can lead and doing things for whatever she needed. Hey, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to work, fill up your gas tank, you know what I mean? I'm going through a financial hardship, cool, we can make some passive income together. This is how we can do it. If you need your credit fixed, we can go through things like this. Like I was giving her the blueprint of everything we could potentially do. A TikTok, a YouTube channel. Like I was giving her the blueprint of like we can do all these things together. Like I was leading and moving intentful. And the big thing for me, for her, is I said, no matter what we go through, we can have a conversation about it. Every single thing we went through, when we had a conversation about it, we're able to get over it. But if I'm getting blocked and I can't even hit her up and things like this, how you're blocking my superpower? You know what I mean? And I don't say my superpower, but my thing of like, if we're going through these hard things early, we're gonna get through. And then, a lot of people, they'll meet each other, it's all bliss and roses, and then like 6 months down the line, it's like, you wasn't that person. Then they stop. The thing about me, like, this is Reggie. You know what I mean? Like, if you like me now, you'll love me later. If you don't like me now, you won't like me later, but at least you can say that man was himself. He didn't wait for 2 months down the line. He didn't wait if I was wrapped around his finger. He didn't wait for me to say no. He was already him. And she felt that. You know what I mean? So the fact that's when I said it was trauma, because there's no way everything we went through, we was able to talk through it. And then you just like a breaking point where it's like she started saying some wild things like, well, I'm about to just get someone to pay my rent. And it's like, you're not even believing in the plans that
Okay.
I'm setting for us. Like
My
we
turn.
have plans. I just want you to believe in what we got going on. Like it's too many people who want to see us win, including yourself, including BM.
Yeah.
I was even seeking counsel from both of y'all. Like, oh, what you think of how we do it this weekend? And it's like, everyone believed in the vision except her. And I get it, sometimes if you're going through like financial hardship, things like this, everyone's going through there. You're not yourself, what have you. But because I was leading, because I had plans every step of the way, it's just unfortunate to me that she didn't believe enough in everything that I was showing her. I was not just talking. These are like everything I'm saying right now. It was all on the plate. We sat down for like an hour or whatever it was. Like, hey, this is how we do a Shopify. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things. So it's just like, and it reminded me, I'm kind of long-winded, but she asked me the question, like, how do you deal with conflict? And I said that answer is like, give your grace and don't go to sleep early. But I should have returned that question, because she doesn't handle conflict well. She's like, run away. And it's like, we got through so much. Why you want to run away now? Like beyond the show, you know what I mean? Like it got to the point where it's like, damn, how do we meet? Because like it was just so genuine and so real.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shoot, the show. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was real for me. It basically is what I'm getting at. So me going through, oh, you was a dancer? I don't know about that. I don't like, hey, give us some advice. You know what I mean? Like it was real for me when I was trying to work through it. You know what I'm saying? So that part definitely was hurting for a bit. And like if a woman blocks you, it's literally the worst thing you can do to a dude. It's like, I'm not saying I was definitely hurt by it, but it's like, because you feel like you can't talk. Like, call me a B. Like, call me, you know what I'm saying? Do something. Like, don't just block me that I can't talk to you. Then it's like, I'm fighting with myself. Then should I text you? Should I not? You know what I mean? It's like, well, you can't text us. You blocked, right?
Yeah.
But, so I was definitely going through it. And that's probably the only good thing. I try to look for the positive of things. Like, I've been working on doing my own stuff, like getting back consistent with posting and stuff like that. So I was going through that, and that helped me to kind of thrive to get to where I am now. But I definitely was hurt by, you know what I'm saying, her actions, for sure.
Okay, Nova, let's switch on over to you.
Yeah, so cool story. Financial hardship, absolutely not. He's gave me $40 for my gas tank. It takes 50, and we talked about that. He was like, "Why did you let me fill it up?" And I was like, "Well, it's okay. Like it's just $10. I can do it."
Yeah.
And then he bought me a $65 PlayStation camera. That is all the money that he spent on me. So for him to sit here and say that I am going through trauma and I am going through financial hardship that I need saving from, is a little bit precocious. So my heart is pounding. I'm trying so hard to stay calm, and
Can I respond
I'm
to that?
just tired of
I can
being.
wait. I can wait.
You can. I'm just at this point. I'm just tired of people like playing with me. I want financial elevation. I want financial security. But at the end of the day, for you to sit here and act like you spent all this money on me and you're actually helping me and you're be there for me, and you haven't done any of those things. He told me there was a lot of other little tidbits in the middle of that, where it was like he wanted me to deposit my check into his account and I get an allowance off of that. No, I'm not working to have an allowance off my thing. That wasn't a cap. That wasn't a cap. My mom was on, you were on speaker. My mom was there. So if you guys want to, ask my mother, we could do that. Okay. So yeah, that was something that was said. Also, he's leaving in November because he's on contract for his job. He told me that I was supposed to go with him.
Go where?
Wherever he goes. I'm in nursing school. That wasn't going to happen. He was convinced that I was going to change my mind come November. I pay for school out of pocket. I go to a private school. So it's pretty expensive. So I'm not going to just drop out of school just because I found a match on a dating show that isn't comfortable with me at all. There was another thing as well where he said I wasn't his typical type. Actually, Micah was.
Micah from the same...
yes.
Okay.
The one that he had to choose between me or her. So it was kind of like, why choose me if I wasn't even your type? It was because he liked my answers. That's what I was told. And that's what he said on the show as well. And then for you to get someone like me and then try to drag me through the mud to make yourself feel better and yourself secure, I wasn't going to be a part of that roller coaster ride. I'm not going to feed your ego because you can't handle what you chose. And I was chosen. So I'm not a fan of that. Also, he told me by the end of the summer I would have to get off birth control because this is his last year that he was going to plan to have a child. I have a 10-year-old. I'm not trying to have a kid by nobody that's not my husband. So that was a thing. And all these things that were said to me, he's piling up on top of me in a short amount of time. So it just feels like a roller coaster ride that I'm on. And I'm supposed to just be okay with everything that's being said and done. Like, no.
So what made you block him? Or how many times was he blocked? I guess I should ask that question as well.
Just this last time. Like, I've tried. Like, because it was always be like, oh, well, I was talking to you as a friend in confidence. And I was, I reached out and I was asking for advice. And I'm like, okay, maybe he doesn't fully understand, like, what he's saying or what he's doing or how he's moving. And that's okay. And I've been in that situation. Like he said, like he asked me, like, have you ever dated a guy that never dated someone that's been in the entertainment world? And it's kind of crazy because it's like that was so long ago and here we are talking about it again. So it's like, okay, so I told him, like, yeah, I used to date a guy that was Jehovah's Witness and he he was kind of walking out on his faith and he was dipping back and forth. So he made it very hard for me as well. So we ended up parting ways, and I told him too, like, I'm okay. I'm open enough to tell you anything that you want to know. But for you to sit in my face and tell me that I'm lying to you is like, what's the point of even talking about anything? Okay. So it just got to a point where it was just like a snowball. Like, it was so good in the beginning. Like, it was so good. Like, we had so much fun. Like, and then it was just like Crash. Reginald came out. You know, like, it was like and he's always like, I'm transparent. I'm this is me. Take me as I am. But then he would turn around and be like, well, you got to do this, or what about this? Like, he was saying how he wanted to have threesomes all the other times, and I was like, well, I don't really, like, I've been in situations where, you know, I had fun, but that's not something that I wanted to do on a regular. So it was like, why even, like, I'm getting into my head where I'm like, why am I even here? Like, this is not even something that you want. You're talking about how you're a bachelor, you're in your prime, and you got women sponsoring you. And that's when I said, well, if you got women sponsoring you, that's nothing for me, love. That's nothing for me. Okay. We can be on the same page. And for him to sit here and make it seem like I'm going through all this financial struggle where I'm looking for money, or I would do anything for money, is like absolutely absurd. Because that's not ever how I come off to anybody. Like, I want my man to be my partner, provide, do the things that we can do together, but I'm not gonna also take the whiplash and the trauma and the back and forth, the negativity. And then in his eyes, it's like, well, if we get through this in 2 weeks, we'll be together forever. And I'm like, bro, I can't. I don't want to do this. Like, I don't think it. I grew up on love doesn't hurt, and if it does hurt, it's not out of betrayal. And for him, I just felt like every time I turned around, it was like a stab in the back. Like, you're supposed to be my partner, you're supposed to be my friend, you're supposed to. So it's like, you're reaching out to so and so about me, but I didn't even market myself that way. I didn't even, you know. So it's like, you're going against me already. So it's like, you want to talk about it, but when I'm talking to you, it's like one ear and out the other. Yeah. So it's like, what are we talking about?
Okay. So I guess, what was the final straw that caused you to end up blocking him and you guys to no longer speak?
So we did a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Well, we did a video and we had a blast. But at first I told him, like, we could be friends. We don't have to do the romantic part of it. We could literally just be friends and just, you know, do business, do YouTube. I'm down for that. He was like, absolutely not. Like, drop the L-bomb. Love. Told me he loved me, and he just couldn't work with someone that he had deep feelings for, that deeply with, and just be friends. Okay. So I said, okay, we'll try it again. So we did the video. We had a good time, which also in the video I caught, because I was like, oh, I don't know. I think I said something like, oh, you like me or whatever. And he was like, or we were talking about doing business with people that you love, right? And he was like, well, like, on the camera, he was like, well, it's a deep like. And I was like, because I'm an observant woman, okay? Like, I don't let nothing slide. I may not speak all the time, but I see it, I hear it, I feel it. So when I walk into a room, I'm definitely the most quietest one in the room, because I am super observant. Like, I am. So it's like, I caught that, I sniffed it, and I was like, okay, he's not trying to own it in public, but he wants to own it in private. That's a problem for me. I never said it back, and I never felt that way. So I told him from the jump, like, I don't speak about things that I don't feel. So, and I'm very honest. I don't have a lot of friends because I'm very honest. So I literally, like, to be in this situation, it kind of was like I dodged a bullet to get shot, like, with a shotgun. Like, that's kind of how I took it. Like, I literally, this was crazy. This was a crazy experience for me, because it was like up and down, and fast.
Okay.
It was like a burning ball of hay. Just it went it went up in flames really fast. And I was really, really happy. Like I told my mom about him. I told my grandparents like everything. They were like about the confidence thing. They were like, "Fuck him." You know, they're old and they're my family comes from we don't have everything. So we grind out, we get it, and we work hard. We're hardworking family. Like everybody's either technical school, nursing, you know, everybody works really hard. So it's like for him to sit and say like any of those things were just wild to them. And it's kind of just wanted to avoid him. Like I just didn't see why he wanted me in his life when he had so many different things that I just didn't align with. It just wasn't a match in the real world.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Reggie.
All right. So it's so much stuff that she just said that I got to like try to piece it in my head to remember what she
Yeah.
said. So I'm gonna start at the beginning because like a beautiful word is context. So I'm gonna give context to everything that she just said. So pretty much with the $40 thing and with the PlayStation camera thing, why did I send $40? Because she said, oh, yeah, I need gas. So she requested $40. I said, send. And that's what happened with that. Why did I pay for PlayStation camera? Hey, we're getting a game together. I have my camera. You have yours. Oh, you didn't have one. Here is a camera. So I don't know if it just came off like that when I was saying like she needed whatever. But this is what I'm saying when I was leading, saying, okay, we can do gaming together. Here's a camera. You need gas. Here's a camera. Like I didn't just send, hey, here's $40. So the whole financial hardship thing was her word said it. I'm not just gonna, you know what I mean? So that was that. She said so much that I gotta go through piece by piece. Okay, so she said about the whole confidence thing, right? So that's cap. So it's like, why would I just say like you're not confident? Like, where does it come from? Like, could any of her actions perhaps made me feel like
We
she
were
wasn't
referencing
confident?
the show.
No, we
Yeah,
was
we
not
were.
referencing the show.
Yeah, we were.
It got to the point where after that confidence, because that was like one of our big first arguments, and then we kind of got over it. She said to me like, you know, my friends were saying like, yeah, you probably seem unconfident on the show, so that's what he got. So I could see where you're coming from with that. So she got where I was coming from with that, but now it's like it's switching it up now. So anything that I said with love, so the whole November thing, yes, my contract's over in November. Hey, I'm really digging you. I'm loving what's going on. Like I want you to be with me when I leave, not just in November, you're coming with me. It's like, come on. And like, we got to give context to what's going on. You know what I mean? It's like, I said it in love, right? And then it's like everything that I said is just like, it's getting flipped. Like I was just like the freaking villain man. No, like I said it on some, I want you with me. I was with you for 3 weeks straight or whatever it was, 2.5 weeks. I'm loving it, loving the time. Like I said, right along doing all the stuff. I want you with me.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that. As far as the whole threesome thing, that was a conversation. It's like, oh, you used to be. Then it was like, once we got comfortable with the whole dancer thing, oh, you was a dancer. Did you ever dibble and dabble maybe? So it's like anything. I'm not just, you know what? We got, it's like, she just keeps on. It's like everything has context. You know what I mean? So it's like anything that I said, so I could be like, yo, Nova, like, I want to do it like, even like, y'all, you know what? This like, so y'all did like the recap. I was like, we could have probably been on that recap. Oh, you just want to go for clout? It's like, I'm trying to build us up. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm speaking out of love, she's taking everything that I'm said. And wait, last one, the whole baby thing. I was saying that yes, by the end of this year, I said by the end, so it was June. So I say by like June 2025, like I want to have a kid, but I know I'm not going to have a kid. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, I want you to have a kid with me, but it's not like you better take that out because I'm gonna. It's like, come on, Nova. Like it got to be context with what's going on. You know what I mean? So it's like here's the thing. Like I get it. You know, it's like when someone doesn't like you, they're gonna say all the bad things. That's cool, but I wanna highlight some other things. Like the personality that I'm showing now. Like this is the personality of like how we match and all these other great things. And I'm gonna keep saying it. My biggest thing. If we have a conversation, we can get through anything. It's like, how do you plan on growing with someone? And it's like, you don't want to go through the hard conversations. Like we were going through the hard things. Like, yeah, you're saying I was seeking counsel. Yeah, because it was real for me. You know what I mean? It was real for me. Like, being together every single day, like for 2 to 3 weeks straight, like I was feeling the love, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to express it. It's like, oh, you're just trying to say that to use me. It's like, what can I say? It's like I can't say anything because everything is used against me. And it's like I'm trying to learn you to learn how to love you better. And it's like, you're it's like taking this like some attacks. And it's like it gets to the point where it's like, dang, I just like I said, it's just everything that I was saying to her was out of love. So I don't want to make it seem like I was just some crazy guy just talking crazy. Like I was really trying to build her up. And when I was talking about financial hardship, I'm not trying to say it like she's a financial hardship. Like anything that she expressed to me, like if she was going through that, I was making the point of, well, this is how we make passive income. We can do this together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't trying to say it like demean her or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to say it like how I said it to her, which I felt I said it in love. Like we can get through this. You know what I mean? So I wasn't trying to. It never was my intention. You know what I'm saying? I think I don't want to keep saying the word trauma or trigger or whatever like that, but I think the overall piece of this is like because conversation is big for me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can push a narrative and like maybe I was pushing it past the bandwidth of what she wasn't ready to handle, as she said, like 6 years ago, stuff like that. But I just met you, so 6 years ago feels like right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like anything I said was with overstanding in love. It was big energy. It was just like, hey, I want to get to learn her. I want to see how I can love her properly. Like there's a saying, it's like a man knows within the first couple months if he want to marry you. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but if you move intentional, which is how I was doing, then you can grow into that. So even kind of like the turmoil or the downfall of it, I reached out for more advice. Like, hey, if there's anything I can do, whatever. And that's why I say I want to say thank you to you guys because you let me know, like, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like we can give you advice if you need advice, but it will get to the point where it's like you guys, excuse me, both of us have to decide whether it's going to be a yay or a nay. We don't want to force it. It's just like naturally, genuinely see what happens. And so it genuinely and naturally led to this point, which is unfortunate, but it was real.
Okay. All right. Well, any final words from either one of you guys before we wrap it up?
Be safe out there.
I'm gonna, of course, say final words. So I want to say that if there was a moment, you know what I mean, when I made Nova feel like she wasn't enough, definitely did not mean to do that. Like sometimes you can find like multiple women in one woman. You know what I mean? So like this woman supports me, this woman loves me. But if you find someone love and supports you, that's like 3 in 1. You know what I mean? So there definitely was a lot of her traits. Like I said, I don't know if it came off like I'm trying to beat her down. Definitely not. But there's a lot of things about her that resonated with me extremely well. You know what I mean? And I do truly believe if she would have had like a little bit more fight, that this could have worked out. But our cards was meant to end like this, so I accept that.
All right, Nova, you're good. Any final?
I would just say that for Reggie and moving forward, I think that he does need to apply a little more grace because the grace that he has is hourly, and some people need more time than that. I tried as hard as I could, but I did feel beaten down. I felt like what is the point? Like, why am I here if I'm always defending myself or, just just kind of coming back always from like a ricochet. Like I'm always, bouncing back up. It got draining. But I think if he just took his time with me as much as I was taking my time with him, because a lot of people don't play about their character and who they are as a person, and to have someone play with your character and who you are, that stings. And I don't think he even to this day realizes that. It's kind of like something brushed under the rug, but you can't brush someone who they are, what they stand for, 10 toes down, how they move. You can't brush that under the rug or make your own story to fit you. So yeah, that's all. I wish him the best. No hard feelings, but yeah, not for me.
Okay. All right. Well, any upcoming projects from either one of you that we could be on the lookout for?
Right now, I'm just focusing on school and my
Okay.
baby. I am yeah, that's it pretty much. I'm
Okay.
not doing anything. I might have some photo shoots coming up, but that's about it. I'm gonna get back out there.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
well, good
it.
luck with school.
Thank you.
Reggie, how about for yourself?
Yeah, like I said, so during my quote unquote depressive time, I've been just kind of working hard. So I do music, do motivational music. So I plan on releasing my third music album project this summer. Smooth
Okay.
Motivation. Check it out on all your streaming platforms. I actually have a business partner, CEO Rose. He works for NIL, like athletes. So we're working on kind of doing things with teaching athletes kind of how to project themselves for the future as far as financial literacy, setting themselves up for success. Yeah, but overall, I want to say that thank you, great experience. Thank you guys for having me for sure. Thanks Nova, honestly, for showing up and just kind of giving it a try. And yeah, just thankful.
All right. Well, thank you both for your time today. And thank you everyone at home for tuning in. We'll catch you all next time.